Okay, and we're recording. Alright, janky ass setup that we just threw together. You like our three cats? They're adorable.
Janky ass setup. No, this is the beautiful, beautiful setup. I would love to have three cats. I don't know about you, but I would like having three
We
cats.
probably should have gotten an anime screen door background as well, instead of just the random one. Should
You
just fit
know, an
the
anime screen
aesthetic.
would have been nice. We'll work it out for next time. I think this is a good setup
We'll
as is.
deal with it. Yeah.
I do like our table though. This table is my favorite part about this whole
Yeah, I do like
scene
these.
setup.
Okay, so Sidetracked podcast, what we're doing? Are we naming it Sidetracked? I guess, probably.
I guess so. For now, Sidetrack podcast, first one. Test trial.
It's just called Sidetracked, I guess.
It's called Try It Side. That's the name of the channel.
I guess. Or could be we get sidetracked while talking about series.
Dude, we get sidetracked talking about any series.
I
Like
know,
it's an
no, I'm
expectation.
saying that's the name of the podcast. We get sidetracked talking about, and then the name of whatever, like the subject.
Ah, so this is sidetracked talking about sidetracked. So we'll have to get a
No,
different channel name later.
no, it's we get sidetracked is the name of the podcast,
Oh, okay.
or on a tangent. I don't know.
Something on a tangent.
We'll figure it out.
Always on a
So what are we
tangent.
gonna do? Oh, just today, Oracle Paths, right?
Yeah. That was a series that I asked you to try taking a look at not too long ago. It was like been a couple of weeks. I remember first reading it. I was just like,
First of all, it's a
this
light
is a
novel.
really, yeah. It's one of my first returns to light novels in a while. But it was a good read, and I'm glad you decided to take a stab at it.
Yeah, I got I got really invested for a while. The characters were interesting enough, but honestly, probably the most reason I read it was because there was a bunch of newish stuff happening. At least it's new to me because I don't read too many like sci-fi gene evolution, almost cultivation novels. But it was fun, so I got to see a bunch of sort of new stuff.
It's really strange how much gene science has integrated cultivation in a lot of the books and stories. I think it's just
Yeah.
kind of like an added flavor to modernize cultivation in like a futuristic world is just gene evolution.
Yeah, so I think the closest thing I've read to it is Galactic Darknet.
Yeah. Galactic Darknet was definitely an interesting one because that's one with the Fey monsters, right?
Nope.
Oh wait, crap.
Nope. It is sci-fi world where this dude gets access to the galactic darknet, which basically is like the darknet we have, but like everywhere in the galaxy. And he uses it to like get resources and get very strange, wonky-ish abilities that he uses to rise to like ultimate power.
Huh? He gets weird abilities. Okay, the
Well,
one I read was completely different. The main character basically bought random Fey creatures and evolved them using his own strange ability, but he was basically evolving every plant, animal, creature that he could find. Either way, it's a little different, but there were some similarities between the stories for both of us. Neither of us have read each other's stories though.
that's not helpful. Not helpful
It
at
doesn't
all.
help.
Really.
But no, Oracle Path was something that was a breath of fresh air to me. I don't know how long did it take you to catch up with Oracle Pass. I know that
Oh,
you started reading it like a week ago.
yeah, I caught up a couple days ago, so I don't know, 4 days maybe of reading it too much.
You read 375 chapters in 2 days
I mean,
on web
yeah,
novel.
well, not 2 days, but
4 days.
like
4 days.
four.
My bad.
Yeah,
4 days.
what is that? I think I hit. Well, on the second day, I was like, it's like you're at 900 hours on web novels this week. I'm like, oh, I think I'd been reading something before that, so wasn't 900 hours. Wait, not 900 hours. What is
Oh,
it?
because there's not 900 hours in a week.
No, what are the
There's not
milestones that web
900
novelers
hours.
do? What is the web the novel? Let me go check what the milestones they get for claiming rewards are. Um, I don't want to read this right. Okay, sorry.
I think you read.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
I think you read 900
There we go.
minutes. I
900
don't think it
minutes.
was.
There you go. Minutes. That's the one. 900 minutes.
Can't remember the denomination less than an hour.
I just saw the number. I'm like, it's hours. No, no, it's minutes. You right.
Wait, how many hours are there in a week anyways? It's 24 times 7, right? You know, 140 and then 4 times 7, which is 28, so 168 hours in a week.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
good
seem
good
right.
luck reading 900 hours in a week. You must be
Oh,
some sort of time
hours. Yeah, I
cultivator.
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, when I was opening web novel to check that out, I I don't even remember what it was, but I always I'm always almost against picking up novels that have like overly outlandish names that are like hyping up the main character. Just it's
I mean,
kind of
every isekai series in existence.
no like most cultivation series in existence, and when not
Mm.
like supreme sovereign of the infinite cosmos.
Ah, that's
Yeah,
what you mean. Okay, okay, okay,
it's
okay.
like if you're putting that much like my character is gonna be a Mary Sue in your title, I'm not sure I want to read it. It's
They're
all
invincible from the beginning. They cultivate. They're heavenly cultivators who find a Dao, an
well,
invincible
no,
Dao
a
of
lot
some
of those
sort.
would start with not heavenly cultivators. There's like normal people, but just the name is like,
The
look at this
titles.
awesome thing I've written, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it might be great, but it makes me worried for what you're gonna give to your main character, how you gonna advance the story and the relationships.
I mean, the journey is just as important as the result, right?
Yeah, it's just the name does not the names like that don't give me hope. And when I scroll through my list, my like web novels library, I don't see any of the ones that I've ever like read and really liked that have names like that. Not gonna lie. Let's see.
You
Lord of
chug, you can go
Mysteries isn't that
far.
grandiose, but that was really good.
Lord of Mysteries, I don't
It's
think
like
is too over the
it's not.
top.
It's just so far that's the closest one I've found though. The one I always complain about had a name like that.
Endless
Reincarnation
Path
of the
Infinite
strongest
Cosmos.
sword god.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Reincarnation of the Strongest Sword Guard. A phenomenal series to begin with, but my god, did it keep dragging on.
Well, no, you didn't read that one, did you? No.
I did.
Was it phenomenal? I don't know. People read it, and I wait. No, that's not the right one. I only have one chapter read in that, but maybe that's because I restarted from the beginning. I think I
You
clicked
know,
on
you do
chapter
that a
one.
lot. You'll click on it and you're like, nah, I already read this, and hit cancel. And it saves your progress back up with chapter one instead of wherever you actually left off at.
Wait, you were talking about Endless Path, Infinite Cosmos. I've never actually read it, but it's in my, it's in my library. Is that one questionable as well?
I think I read like the first couple of chapters, but then I didn't continue for some reason. I don't remember why, which probably means it wasn't very memorable
It's just
when I was reading it.
oh, that one's
Either
Endless
that or it's
Journey,
too
Infinite
long.
Realms.
Oh,
There's two that I have it here. I have read neither of them. Um, but
but you
one's
can see there's a lot of stories that have almost direct replicas of names.
yeah, oh, Paragon of Destruction. Didn't read it probably because of the name.
Let's see, what's another one? What's another one that's got an over the top name? Um, it's not easy to be a man after traveling to the future.
That's
That's
not
just a
over the
really, really
top. It's
long
just
name.
long, which is that's also a thing I like novels. Is just long things.
Ancient godly monarch. There we go.
Ancient godly monarch. Yeah, I'm just looking through my library, and I don't have a lot of them, which means I don't read a lot of them. And a lot of the ones that I have in here that are named like that, like Sovereign of the Karmic System, I didn't read. Lightning Dragon God something something. Um,
What about Coiling Dragon?
Coiling Dragon's fine. It's like Crouching
But
Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
yeah, it's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But I'm thinking, what part of that entire series was there ever really a Coiling Dragon other than the ring?
It was the ring. Oh yeah, I guess because they had dragon bloodlines and they were coiling and writhing. They weren't actually, but like metaphorically, you know.
Metaphorical coiling. Wow,
Rebirth of the legendary
we got
warrior.
sidetracked in less than 30 seconds.
Which is fine. That's the we were just starting there. This is not gonna end.
We started Sidetracked and we're gonna end Sidetracked.
We might
That's
get
that's
back
exactly
there.
how it's gonna
Okay,
go.
let's go through just like random features because my library has almost none.
Random
I
features.
should probably be pulling this up on like a desktop.
Oh yeah, it might be a good idea if you're already looking it up,
I
looking
don't
at it.
have. Let's see, web novels. Web novel. I've never been on the online web novel site.
You should change your profile picture in your online web novel site to your portrait, your head portrait.
Sign in.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember how Oracle Path started.
How Oracle Path started? I can tell you because I just read it.
I remember he wasn't that great of a person. He was supposed to be like some sort of lazy bum working in
Yeah,
some sort of like casino or like PC cafe.
he was he was a lazy bum working in a VR like shop that sold VR stuff, but you could also go and play VR in.
Oh, I do remember that. I do remember that start. Yo, I feel like that was so long ago, and that was like maybe 2 years ago at most in the storyline.
In the story, yeah, it's not been very long, and he has become very powerful. It is one of those where the main character becomes very powerful very fast, like especially compared to all their people around them. But at least they don't just immediately ditch all their friends, and he's kind of like trying to drag them along, and he's starting his own clan, whatnot.
Oh, forewarning, this entire podcast is just going to be absolutely riddled with spoilers. Like
Which is
if we
fine if
bring
you
up
never
a
plan on
topic,
reading it, but
yeah, yeah.
let's see,
The whole
browse.
point of this podcast is just kind of discussing things that we've read or just wanted to go over things that we've
Prim-
wanted to share with each other.
oh, is
No,
this?
but yeah, I
Oh,
remember
is
he
this?
started off in that.
I was scrolling through the browsing and I thought it was my library for a sec. Like, oh,
Our
I read
library is
these.
huge. It's huge.
Here, let me switch to the OBS for a sec. Boop. Okay.
You should still leave us on the left and right sides of this.
Oh yeah, I could do
For a
that.
second. Put us back in, coach. Put us back in.
Put us back in. Oh, let me find us. Which web captures browser source, right? Nope, that's not right. They should exist in browser sources. Add existing, but they're not there. That's annoying.
Maybe it's because it's a different scene. That's odd and unfortunate, but odd.
I'm just not going to for now.
Okay,
Not gonna be
we'll
here
do it
very
later.
long. That's fine. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. So let's. I guess a lot of the top ones aren't, except Reincarnation's Strong Sword Guide. Go
Yeah.
away.
Pretty Magus does sound kind of like it's preaching a little bit. You know, it just sounds like he's all the way up there.
Supreme Magus.
Although
Yeah, it's a little bit.
we haven't really gotten to the point where he's like the supreme Magus at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, that one's bordering, but honestly, it's good enough that it
I
doesn't
just
matter.
realized the series synopsis starts with Derek McCoy. This says nothing about the character from the actual series yet.
I forgot that his name was Derek McCoy because he immediately adopts his like that's a trope. I don't know how often do people refer to themselves by their own name or by their transmigrated name. I'm not really sure right now.
I mean, usually they bring it up once or twice every now and then. I think the better series utilizes the pre-existing life as a tool to further the story rather than a tool that gives the character just power or
Or just he's there now.
abilities.
But
Or
yeah.
just throw it away
We've had this
entirely.
conversation before, but not on any recorded thing. If you remember, that we did like that about Supreme Magus, that they actually talk about his past life, and it has direct, relevant consequences on his actions in his present world.
Yeah, and that brought up the topic of me rereading Supreme Magus from the beginning because it's definitely a worthwhile series. I think this should be number one on web novel. I don't see why it wouldn't be number one right now. Whoever Legion 20 is, he's a god amongst men.
That's his first one as well.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is it? I'm pretty sure this is an original, right?
Yeah, it's an original work.
Yeah, it says original work.
Same with what one have we been reading that was by the author of legendary Night Sculptor? Again.
You mean Death and Me?
No, no, Magician. The one I like about the magicians.
Mages are too OP.
No.
Because that one.
Oh no, they wrote that and they wrote. It's Throne of Magical Arcana.
Ah,
Throne of. Do I know how to spell? Nope.
you don't know how
How
to
do you
spell
spell that
throne.
kind of throne? THRONE.
THRO.
Fine. Throne of Magical Arcana.
You don't remember Game of Thrones, dude?
Dude,
You
I
see
don't. I
Thrones
don't remember
everywhere.
how words are spelled. I read and I absorb.
You don't
Yeah.
see letters
Oh, I
when
need
you
to.
read.
I need
You
to catch
see,
up. This is completed now. But yeah,
yeah,
I think this author also did.
click on the author name. Cuttlefish that loves diving. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did.
You're right, you're right, you're right.
You know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I do.
What is the name of it?
I don't
Why can't I
remember.
click on Cuttlefish that loves
What are
diving?
the mysteries?
Yeah, Lord of the Mysteries.
Throne of Magical Arcana and Throne of Mysteries.
Two quite good series that both peaked, and those were his first two, I think.
You have to click on the author, dude.
I am already. Oh, yeah, you're right. I can't click on Cuttlefish, so whatever.
Wait, why?
It's not a button. Yeah, I guess Lord of the Mysteries was his second one, I think.
It's because it's posted by someone else. Cuttlefish that loves diving is the direct author, but he doesn't own the account that posted this story.
Someone's edited. This is an edited one.
Yeah, because this is a translated series.
I guess both of them are, yeah. But still, Cuttlefish that loves diving is the author.
Yeah, I think you could just search by author though.
And I do like both of them. Yeah, really?
I'm pretty sure you can.
No.
Yeah, you can. Look.
Is there an author? Oh, I mean, it brings them up, but
Embers.
Ad infin. Okay, another one of his. We might have to try that.
New one. This is a new one. What else? Martial Arts Master. That's a completed series, I think. Yeah, I remember
He's
seeing.
He's been going for quite a while, and
Yeah, this guy's been a long-term writer. It's probably
fantasy. Okay, no longer Cuttlefish that loves diving.
Yeah, This is the end of it.
Oh no, more. Sage transcends samsara.
Maybe we just need to look up the author himself
and
on like on novel updates.
That's not him. Yeah.
We should just look up the author on novel updates.
That which.
Haney translations.
But it looks like he slowly got better, and then Embers ad infinitum is his latest work.
Experience is king.
What is the about? Okay. In the last work by the Lord of the Mysteries author, Cuttlefish Loves Diving, be prepared and well thought out detailed. I can't read. Yeah, dude, he thinks so much about his world building. Oh, and apocalyptic cyberpunk.
Ooh, cyberpunk.
Apocalyptic cyberpunk. Oh, yeah, I read a dark apocalyptic cyberpunk that was really good until it got kind of boring. It was steampunk something or other, so that's not cyberpunk, but you know.
There isn't a lot of steampunk series. Lord of the Mysteries is the only one that I liked so far.
That's not steampunk.
Well, it's got that kind of like old, Middle Ages feel to it, you know?
Yeah, Middle Ages is not steampunk.
Okay, that's fair.
Steampunk
I just felt
world that went through an industrial revolution, but stayed with steam power as opposed to switch to electric. So everything's done with gears and steam, and usually has like sci-fi-esque, almost magic type things because steam cannot.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Lord of the Mysteries does have electricity in it.
Well, that wasn't. What, does it?
Yeah, it does. I kept thinking because they always used fireplaces to keep heating the houses. At least I remember. My character always bringing up that every time he was changing locations that he was living in. But I'm pretty sure they actually had electricity. Like I know that the series started with him using a candle light at home, but that's just because it was too expensive.
No electricity in that series. So I'm gonna say probably not, but I do get what you're talking about. It's got that like Victorian time period.
Yeah, that Victorian time period feel. Because like the way that he speaks and the way that he brings up his composure, and there's like high societies and clubs and whatnot.
Yeah, and like, steampunk does have all that, but steampunk has a more heavy basis on technology. Well, that was based on sort of not magical power, but curse power, I guess. King Cthulhuan power.
Is it curse? It is not. It was a. They call them Beyonder powers. They were
I'm
all
just
more like.
I'm calling them curses because they mentally corrupt you slowly as you get more
Yeah,
powerful.
that's fair. It's like paranormal activity, or demonic powers.
Yeah, slowly tries to drag you down. I might have to try this though, because I've liked Chill of Cuttlefish so
We could
far.
do a review on this one. The hundred chapter checks
Of Ember ad infinitum.
of
Yeah,
Ember's ad infinitum. We could do that. Just not this week though. In a future week, you can still start it though if you want to.
that's a cool name. I might. We'll see. We'll
And then
see.
I'll just hold my opinions for when we do first chapter reads. Actually, if you want to do that, we could record that after this if you want. First chapter reads, first 10 chapter reads, and then just split off.
And we'll get to it. We got some Overwatch to play later. You want to take
Ah,
a shower?
we do. Okay.
Okay, what? Oh, release that witch. Is that a wisp? Wait, is this Spanish? Throne of Magical Arcana. It is. I mean, it's
I
not
don't think
Spanish.
that's
It's a
Spanish.
different language. Sorry, it's not Spanish.
I don't think that's Spanish.
I have literally no idea what language this is.
It looks like
It looks.
Vietnamese, but without
Yeah.
accents.
Those are
Maybe.
those look like Chinese characters.
I mean, those are definitely Chinese characters. Maybe it's Vietnamese.
Weird.
I have no clue. I don't know my
Maybe those are
languages
actually
very
there
well.
on all of the. Yeah, never mind. Those are there on all the Throne of Magical Arcana because it's from China. Uh,
That's the original. That's the original author's cover, I guess.
yeah, and they just changed the nameplate. Okay. What were we talking about?
Well, we were supposed to talk about Oracle Paths.
Yeah, yeah.
We got absurdly sidetracked.
Okay.
Um,
Favorite thing or least favorite thing
no, I just
about
kind
it?
of want to go to the beginning.
Oh, through the beginning.
I'll just spell out our thoughts.
You want to talk about Ruby?
Is that the name? Was that the name of the system?
No, it's the girl.
Oh,
with the
right. When you first
heterochromic
met
eyes.
Ruby. Right. In the
Ruby.
VR thing.
Oh no. Wait, you're caught up, right?
What? Yeah, I am caught up.
To
But he
him.
first met her
Yeah.
in the VR thing.
He first met her in the VR thing. She was kind of disfigured and crippled and missing both her legs,
What do
but
you mean?
she was
What do you mean
she was
kind of
nice.
disfigured and crippled?
She was very
What's that?
disfigured and crippled.
She was so crippled that everybody that saw her thought she was the ugliest thing in the world, apparently. Or at least
Yeah.
the main character said that
Pretty much,
felt like that.
except for the eyes.
Except for the eyes. Very clear, beautiful eyes. And apparently,
Heterochromia, blue and purple, blue and violet,
yeah.
something like that. Oh,
But yeah, apparently he was supposed to treat her like his
his soulmate. Wow.
that's what it was, soulmate.
Yeah, and they seem to get along. I was just
It did
talking
seem to go
about
on.
if you wanted to theory craft with me about what is happening inside Ruby's head.
So recently, in Oracle Pass, one of the things that we had just witnessed was these two characters reunite, Ruby and Jake.
I forgot
Not
what's
Jake.
his name. It's Jake.
It is Jake.
It's Jake.
It's been a hot minute. Actually, I just read the chapters yesterday. I caught up. I don't know why I can't remember his name. I must have read something else that overlapped. But they just finished the second. Well, not just finished. They finished the second.
We didn't explain what ordeals are, so you can't just say that.
You're right. We have to explain.
No, they finished the second round of basically trial that they're doing. And in said trial,
I feel like we should explain the premise of the story first before we dive into this.
okay, yeah, that's valid. I mean, theory crafting Ruby has not much to do with that, but
Yeah, I know. Just introduce. Okay, that's fair. Theory
you don't
crafting
even talk
Ruby.
about what's happening. It's basically just they met. They were technically in non-life-threatening situations, but he was given a mission by his system. Oh, I guess we didn't even explain systems. Oh my gosh.
No, there's a
So
lot to
freaking-
explain.
Yeah. So Oracle Pass, a a story about a world that suddenly everyone gets bracelets with a system that directs your growth towards your highest potential and can kind of predict the future. Given to you by aliens because you're about to be invaded by these crazy monsters that want to eat you and spawn out of thin air. Yeah.
What are
And
they
then
called? Corruptors?
digesters.
Devour
Digesters.
digesters? I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're digesters, I believe.
Digesters.
And because these things are spawning, your world and your entire universe, in fact, gets assimilated into one giant planet in what they call the mirror universe.
It's literally a giant super planet
And
or
it
a
just
super
rips
universe.
out random chunks and like sticks them all over itself. So good luck finding your friends and family, unless you get strong enough to go to hub worlds and whatnot. But
It's actually really strange. Rather, it doesn't feel like they're physically removing anything. If anything, it feels like they're like mapping coordinates to these locations and stitching them together through space time, but they don't actually move chunks of space out of the area. They just guard it so that way the coordinates for it are hard to track. Is what I feel like is happening.
huh?
Isn't that what happens? That's how they got like the planet systems to work when they traveled up and Jake got his own planet and everybody else got their own
Oh, well,
planets.
yeah, that. I was talking about freaking B234 or whatever. The planet that
Oh,
is
B8.
the
I
accumulation of
think.
all the other worlds from the old planet.
Oh,
Well, all the
that's what
other
you mean.
worlds with sentient life from the old planet.
Yeah, that makes yeah, that's true. All the planets with sentient life got amalgamated into one super planet.
It is, yeah, it's a crazy sort of premise that I hadn't read before, which is why I was excited to read it.
That was really weird when I was first reading about it. I was like, wait, they're literally sucking pieces of the planet out, piece by piece. Like you can visibly see changes in the world physically. Like you'll walk down a street and there's gonna be a lamppost just gone because it's already been transferred over.
Yup. And as you read through, you realize that the being, the oracle that gave everyone these bracelets and is basically forcing them to fight for their lives, try to survive against the digesters.
Well, it's not forcing them.
Well,
The
no, not forcing.
digesters
You're
were
right.
gonna come eventually on their own anyways,
You're gonna die if you don't do it. Basically, trying to
right?
help, but also give you a bracelet that could potentially just make you a slave. Not everyone trusts the oracle
Did
so
it make
much.
them a slave?
Well, so the bracelet is this weird liquid metal, and some of it dissolves into your blood system and like your brain and whatnot. So they could just like kill you. That's how they enforce contracts and the like.
That's true. That's how they enforce
If you break
contracts.
an
That's how
oracle
they
contract, it just
track
it's like
people.
nope,
It's
you
like
don't get to do that.
yeah, there's a tracking mechanism inside the liquid metal that gets injected into your bloodstream.
That as well. But I believe the tracking mechanism is in the bracelet.
Which is part of your bloodstream now.
Well, no.
Isn't it?
Part of the liquid metal is part of your bloodstream, but I believe the bracelet is also still its own thing.
Oh,
Which is why you have to reform
okay.
the bracelet if you ever lose it. That's sad.
You have to
Something else.
repurchase it. That's true. You can't recover that metal material. Also, that metal material is absurdly heavy for some reason.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, it's also compressible.
Back to Ruby, though.
Back to Ruby.
Ruby Hale, that's what her name was.
Basically, main character thinks the Oracle is biased towards keeping her alive for some reason, because it originally, or getting her good results, because it originally told him to treat her like a soulmate, and he was kind of like, oh yeah, she was a real nice person, and I liked her, and then they meet again in the other world, and well, she has obviously become beautiful now because why not? But also, his oracle gives him a mission to go save her when she's about to die, and he basically risks his life, almost dies, and then she frisks him while he's almost knocked out and takes all his stuff and just walks away. And then later, her aunt forces her to apologize for that because he is probably because he is strong and an up-and-coming basically scientist. He is like apprentice to some crazy alien scientist. And she very much acts like she's sorry, but also is very much not. I don't know. It's weird. and they're very confused about what is her genuine personality and what is there's something strange going on with her psyche, but also not, and they're
I
not
just
being
think it's
very
the
clear
fact
about
that
it.
due to the way she was treated before, I think she's just more comfortable throwing away people and relations. I think she's more she likes people. She has her own team for God's sakes. Like she likes her own teammates. She helped them all together. They all help each other. But I still think that her old personality, where she's more concerned about herself and her life and moving forward and seeing her own dreams come to fruition, I think she's still more concerned about that than other people in general.
I'd probably agree with you, but I believe there was some mention that they thought something strange was going on with her, or that she was keeping some weird secret. And they're like, "Is it split personalities?" No, it's not. I tend to agree, but it does seem like something is strangely influencing her in some weird way.
Yeah, seems to be some sort of purpose beyond or what's currently occurring.
Oh, and there was the whole thing where each person has their bracelet has like this Oracle AI that talks to them and tells them stuff that they need to learn about the world they're in, and they often communicate or they will almost always communicate with each other when they're near each other for exchange of information. But hers does not want to communicate, so it's probably something to do with her Oracle AI. Honestly, it probably isn't, but a theory that just popped in my head is maybe the like legit big Oracle made Ruby's Oracle AI like either a copy of itself or a like its child or something, and it's like doing some
Mm,
weird interaction with Ruby, or maybe why it's
yeah,
preferential to her.
there has to. I mean, the fact that it predicts the future has to mean something related to Ruby, no matter what.
Oh
Like
yeah, I
something
mean
about the
guaranteed.
future
I was just
indicates that
wondering if it
she
had
needs
to
to
do with it.
survive, and that the best chance of survival in the future has to be by associating yourself with Ruby. But what's really curious to me is that no other oracle seems to indicate specifically that. It's either because he's had a chance to meet Ruby, but what's odd to me is that a lot of other people have also had a chance to meet
Well,
Ruby
it,
by
it
going through
it didn't seem
these
that it was,
trials,
hey,
right?
it's easier for you if you help Ruby, if you get to know Ruby. It seemed like it was, from what they could tell, it's, oh, the Oracle thinks Ruby is special, so you should help her because she's in trouble. And the
Hmm.
initial him meeting her was just like a part of that. Is, hey, be nice to Ruby because she's special. The question is, why is she special? And
Yeah,
what's up with her personality?
she does seem split somehow.
Yeah, and they were talking about that, and they were like, oh, but she's probably not bipolar, so that's where, and the fact that her oracle didn't want to converse with his oracle means either it's hiding stuff, or it is something strange in and of itself, which is why I was trying to link it to the main oracle. And also, apparently, she
Hmm.
has the ability to like rewrite her oracle's memory functions, which either means she did end up meeting up with the ancient designer. Sorry, that doesn't make any sense if you've read this, but it means she did end up meeting up with the ancient designer, or her oracle already has some weird ability, or her oracle AI already has some weird ability that is able to bypass the normal constraints of the oracle AIs.
I think it's likely that she met a different ancient designer. Because you know how he said that he split himself? Or that there's other, people there? And that there's only that there was this one Oracle designer, but you know how he has like multiple copies. That's how he was able to meet with all the participants, but only one actually had his intact consciousness. I'm wondering if
Uh,
there's a separate unmentioned body of the ancient designer that did meet her, but has no relation to the one that met with Jake at the end of the trial.
like at a different point in time, like earlier on.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or I mean, it could have just been someone else. But it had to have
I mean,
been.
there's an entire section where we don't see her at all.
Yeah.
Like, there's no evidence that she's even there. There's more evidence that she got killed by whatever that final contraption was
Yeah, yeah.
at the end of the second Oracle.
But they did say
Also,
that she
that build up to the
changed.
second Oracle, by the way, was insane.
Sorry, what?
The build up for the second Oracle, everything that got involved for it, I thought that was really, really cool.
You mean the second ordeal?
Yeah, the second ordeal. My bad. Like the fact that they started in this whole like training sequence trying to get to an island, and then they get to the islands, but there's all these hidden powers within these rocks and whatnot. Um, and then all of a sudden, people and the inhabitants of the island itself need these rocks in order to obtain both powers, uh, strength, and passage. Um, moving forward in whatever this universe place location is. I don't know. I just felt really not mind blown because a lot of it was foreshadowed, but I really appreciated how large scale all the ordeals have been so far.
Yeah. Well, oh, you mean like how much thoughts put into each ordeal and how it would
Yeah, I
actually
mean, who
train who and
expected that?
whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the second one. I did not ever expect that the inhabitants of that island would also be searching for a way to get to the finale of the ordeal where they go to that spaceship,
Yes,
right? They get
that's a
ported up.
good that's a
I
good
did
point.
not expect that whatsoever.
This author does something that I really like when writers do, which is they like take their setting, but they like build their setting to where each group of individuals has like their own goals and motivation and backstory and reason for doing everything that is more than just, oh, here's the service level, here's this group, here's that group, here's this group. And you're like, oh, I get why they're doing that. It's always nice.
The face slapping group does exist, but
The face slapping
they
group.
have a
What?
purpose
What is the
and
face
reason.
slap? You mean the guys who get face slapped?
Yes, the face slapping group. They exist in this series as well, but they have a much greater purpose in this story. It's amazing.
There hasn't been much face slapping though. I mean,
The guy that got his dick cut off,
okay, but that wasn't face slapping like
he deserved it.
in the main sense of the word.
I mean, the guy was chasing. I mean, what about the guy that was chasing? The what was the kid's name? He was chasing the kid.
Yeah, Tim, but
Yeah, he was chasing Tim for a really, really long time just because he could, he was showing some power and capabilities, and he was trying to get rid of him from the ordeal early. Like, there's a lot of people just throwing,
I consider
like,
I consider
showing
those
off
like
their power.
funny little moments, but I don't know if I consider them face slapping.
I mean, like, I consider it face slapping because he really, really tried. He was just like, "You're fucking dead," and yada yada yada. And I go up to this tower, and Jake's there, and he's just like, "Get down,
Okay,
die.
I mean
You're
he didn't
nothing."
even show up. He just ran away. His oracle was like, "You're not gonna win that fight. Just
No, but
leave."
they see him later. They encounter each other later when they're
Yeah.
trying to get the stones to get through the doors. And
No,
they're
no,
also
not
involved
during that point.
inside of that maze.
Yes, inside the maze, not before that.
For sure, there was another encounter. It was either inside of the pyramids or something else. I'm pretty sure there was
Yeah,
another
it's
encounter with
inside the
them,
pyramids they meet up.
but they don't fight. They do try to take something from him
No,
though,
they
from
do
what I
fight
remember.
because so he never meets up with all of them again. He meets up with one of them who's with one of the basically the predators. I don't remember what the normal name are called, but they're predators. Uh,
They have guns and whatnot. It's hidden in
no,
this
no, I mean
base
the dudes with
storage.
the dendrites, the metal dendrites, and they could like turn invisible and hunt the strongest prey. Those are predators. I don't know if you got
Mm.
that. Like Alien versus Predators.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna
But they
say,
have an Oracle
yeah,
space
he's with
storage.
one of those hunting Ruby and the other dude. Um, and Jake shows up and is like, "Bye," and then like grabs
Oh,
them
they
from
didn't care
her.
about Tim at that point. It was just like, oh, she's the
They
natural enemy. She's gonna be really hard to deal with because
no,
for some reason Ruby
they
controls
were
ice.
they were trying to take her things because they already had well, so the Predator has a grudge against her because she gets ice and they've fought before, and I don't know, he was just teaming up with the Fly Man that you're talking about. I mean, they might have actually met outside, but I don't think so.
I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did, but I can't remember it. There's too. There was. I binged this series too
A
fast that I
lot
can't
of
remember
stuff
every detail.
happened, and you don't read detailed oriented.
I don't read detailed. Um, but I remember enjoying the story for what it was.
Yeah.
But going back to Ruby though,
Oh, well, what do we have more to say about it? We actually don't have enough information. I realize now to talk
no,
about
we've
it. But
only met her twice.
do you like?
Technically three
I
times, but
honestly,
really just
she's
twice.
weird, but I do like what they're doing with their character, and they didn't. They were like, here's your soulmate, and now here's some crazy
There's
confirmation that makes you really
zero
not
lead
shit
in for
think
it.
she's your soulmate.
Yeah, there's
And
zero lead
honestly,
in
it's
for
more
it.
appreciated that I hope she actually is his soulmate, and something happens, and that this dark side of her is actually kind of part of her personality in however it goes down. But it'll be very much interesting to see how that ends up.
It's different. It's different. It's unique.
Yeah, let's
What
put it
about
about
okay?
Oracle passes along
There's
with
one
stuff that's
thing
like,
that I'm not able to enjoy as much about this series. It is clear that our main character has established himself a harem.
yeah, there is some of that. Although, yeah,
Like there's some moments of this series and the story where the character decisions are portrayed to make them seem feminine or built off of their female personality, so to speak. And it's just a little too much sometimes. Like the author tells you, "Oh, this is the way," because quote unquote, women or girls are just like that, or the main character just doesn't understand women, type of thing. I don't know. It seems very. It's like all those series, like those anime series, where every single anime nowadays has to have like a little bit of fan service, and this small harem is that little bit of fan service that's supposed to draw in some people.
yeah,
So,
I could
like,
agree with
I
that.
acknowledge
It
that it
is
exists.
it
I
is a
won't
little
say
weird
I necessarily
sometimes.
like it.
I rationalize it away by just the sheer this person is like this basically the strongest up and coming person your age in this crazy world where strength is ultimately important.
Yeah, but why is it that the
So
Mytharian
there's
bloodline has to give Sarah this uncontrollable urge to procreate?
okay, yeah, that's where the
That's
fan
not
service comes
okay.
in. Aside from that, that's where the fan service comes in. Like I could rationalize away the other stuff, but that's just for the fan service, you know. Although to be fair, I don't think it would have done that much different
It would have done
without
absolutely
without
nothing
it.
without it either.
It would have
It's just a
happened pretty
little
much
bit
the same.
funny, but I don't appreciate the thought process where the author tries to explain why that happened from the perspective of both parties at once.
You see now what the next thing needs to be to counteract that for you is the next alien DNA he integrates has to be like celibate, and it's just like now he has to get over the fact that he can't do anything. Just switch back and forth, messing with your DNA.
Yeah. Oh, messing with DNA. That reminds me. Him becoming what was it called? Like a aetherist.
Okay,
He just randomly decides
explain
to
that
become an
maybe.
aetherist out of nowhere, and then he learns runes like so quickly and instantly. I guarantee. So, granted, author explains it as the result of him allocating his stats properly into intelligence,
I don't agree.
but
That is not how that is explained.
no, the reason why he came to the decision to become an aetherist.
Oh, you mean the reason why he decided to be an atheist is because he had a bunch of intelligence.
Yeah, he ended up doing it because he ended up boosting his intelligence super duper duper high. That's the general gist of what I got. But realistically, it's because he needed to understand the integration between his two bloodlines and how it created this additional bloodline. And he also
Well, I
noticed that it
mean,
would make him a lot more money if
the
he became an
thought
atheist.
process, regardless of the intelligence, was he was like, "Okay, after the thing, I would need to become stronger because all of my stats are maxed out. How do I do that?" And he's like, "Oh, I can integrate new bloodlines." And that he was like, "Oh, that's super expensive. How do I do that for cheaper? Oh, I can just go hire someone." But who wants to keep hiring people as I'm going to need to do this more and more, and I'm going to have to understand it. So why not just learn it myself? That was what I got from it.
That ain't easy. to learn it yourself. And you got lucky that he was able to get an apprenticeship
Yeah.
that we
But
still haven't even seen come to fruition.
Yeah, the apprenticeship has done nothing for him so far, except for like
Except
the
give
little
him a
boost it gave
son.
him. Yeah, fair enough. But that was just a gift for his progress.
I don't know. Like so many things in this story is what I'm worried is something's gonna happen really early on, and where the story is gonna continue, and either Jake or we as readers are gonna completely forget about it. And they can just reintroduce later as an oh yeah, by the way, because this happened in the past, this is now possible. That's what I'm really, really worried about.
Yeah, it probably will.
It's going to happen because it's called Oracle Paths, and people literally see the future. So there's going to be some sort of tie back to every single event that happened in the past. It's going to be explained as, oh, this happened because this happened in the past. There's no other explanation. It has to happen because it occurred this way.
At some point, yeah. Like
that's what I'm worried about.
His choice was manipulated by the Oracle Path because of these other decisions and whatnot, and the options he was given, you know, and your entire destiny was planned out by the Oracle.
Some other things that I really want to give notice to is the Asian brother and sister.
Yeah.
First of all, the brother is a complete idiot.
I don't think he's a complete idiot. He knows what he's doing.
But he doesn't even bother trying to stop his sister or properly help her. He
knows what he's doing.
Guards.
He is that kind of character. That like like slightly masochistic. Siscon, yeah. That's what he is. For more relevant information, there's a brother and sister. The sister is manipulative and kind of an asshole. It's super selfish, but doesn't act that way, except when she acts that way. And the brother just completely ignores that and is like, my sister is the sweetest, little, most adorable thing in the world, and she must be protected. Yeah. He knows what he's doing.
I wonder how long those two are going to be relevant for, though, because it felt really... It felt like Jake left him in the dust super quickly.
If he keeps doing what he's doing.
All right?
And the fifth ordeal. Yeah.
He's going to die as soon as the fifth ordeal ends. Like, the first ordeal, after the fifth ordeal, he's just going to be dead. Deado.
There are ordeals that the Oracle gives to the people so that they'll do stuff that it needs done. And the first four are basically training ordeals that you are allowed to be resurrected from if you die. Well, there's a lot of information in this book, and that's why it's good. But, oh yeah.
There's a lot of planning and thought process, more than I expected. But my god, some of the characters feel two-dimensional.
Yeah. And kind of on that, one of the things I also don't really like is they're not entirely, but the main character is bordering on a Mary Sue in the fact that I don't ever feel like they're in trouble. They're kind of always gonna win.
You know what he kind of reminds me of?
Come out with like the best rewards or some of the best rewards.
Yeah. He's always gonna get away with something that nobody else is ever gonna be able to attain.
I mean,
or
people get
collect.
fucked up, but it's so far only been the side characters that have had like hard mental trauma.
Rest in peace, Kyle.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kyle, man.
Kyle will never recover.
He's on his way. You read today's chapter, right?
He will never recover.
Did you read today's chapter?
He will always be behind.
Oh, no, he might. Again, did you read today's chapter?
No, I didn't read today's chapter.
Well, Kyle gets...
I'm on chapter 75, and I know that we're in like 85.
Oh, no, okay. Well, you should rip Kyle without even me knowing what he's going through. He's had some not so fun stuff happen to him.
You're talking about his family and his sister, right?
Yeah. Then you read today's chapter.
Was that today's chapter?
That was today's non-forward chapter. Yeah. Yeah, his family, his sister, and then
man, we decide if we're going to subscribe to a book or not subscribe to a book, so we stay on topic with each other.
Yeah. Are you subscribed? I'm not. I was just keeping up with the non-subscribed chapters.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? I should just do non-subscribed chapters.
Are you're in subscribed right now?
Kinda.
Oh, you're reading illegally?
Yes.
Okay.
But I am unlocking chapters through the normal legal means.
Okay. Yeah. But no, that's where I am right there. Is Kyle talked about his family, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Now I am more determined because he said he'll save my sister." But blah blah blah. The main character is still Mary Sue, and
Yeah, main character's the main man. The main character says that he's in pain or that he's gonna die soon, and then nothing actually ever kills him.
yeah. Just
Although,
like,
to be fair, as much as the Mary Sue he is, a lot of bad shit does happen to him.
sorry, yeah. Well, bad but not bad. Like bad but not mentally traumatizing. Bad but it ends up with good rewards. You know, it's it's a lot
He
like
recovers somehow. He's always guaranteed to recover
yeah.
somehow.
I was gonna say it's a lot like the character you hate in the not so great series that I read like 2,000 chapters of, and I still kind of want to finish just for the
Legendary
interesting
Moonlight
lore.
Sculptor.
No, not that.
No, but I still feel the same way about it.
Super Gene. Oh, but yeah,
Super
Legendary
Gene.
Moonlight Sculptor is the same. Yeah, Legendary Moon Sculptor, Super Gene. That is actually one of my biggest pet peeves with light novels in general, is that 90% of the characters are just like, things happen to them, but they always come out on top. And it almost always happens really quick.
So most of the time, I'm actually okay with the main character coming out on top. Occasionally, some authors like to spin it around saying, oh, yeah, they got a lot of rewards, but they didn't get the very, very best reward. Or there's always some sort of reward that someone else got. Usually
Library
someone
of
from his
Heaven's
team.
Path.
Library of Heaven's
Dangling
Path.
stuff in front of your face and just like, no, you can't have it. And he just like shoves it in your face. The main character's not getting this. That's not the way to do that. The way to do it is Supreme Magus way, where main character is legit mentally scarred when his like he tries to save his friend, who he actually ends up saving, but like hides himself away and doesn't let him know that he saved him, which totally affects him in a very negative way for a while. And there's lasting consequences there.
Very long-lasting consequences.
That do get
My
settled
God,
later.
Deathside
like
is
100
fucked
chapters
up.
later.
Deathside is one of the most fucked up things that I've ever read.
Deathside?
Deathsight. The fact that Lith literally sees everybody in front of him dying.
Dude, I always forget that he has that, and then he like brings it up. You're like, oh right. Just, like,
How do you forget that? That's like one of the
focus
biggest sources of his current mental trauma.
Well, I remember every time they bring it up, but whenever I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, right, that's the thing.
Like, this guy's fucked up both in his previous life and his current life. Like, as happy as everything sounds, because he's always making these magical breakthroughs and whatnot, this guy is deranged.
Yeah, and he keeps having like weird mental things that happen, and I think it's great.
Like, it's so scary.
As much as he's a character
tension.
that actually develops.
Yeah, he's a character that actually develops, and there's tension more than just inside the story and individual character relations. Like, the character himself brings tension to all parts of
his
the
life,
novel.
his relationship, that it affects stuff.
Like you actually see the character being an influence on all the other characters,
dragging
both
everyone down with him,
and positive ways.
Yeah.
And those characters are able to develop without the help of our main character.
And
that is the most important part to me.
So good.
That also happens Lord of the Mysteries too. All those extra side characters.
Yeah, it does. Not to the same extent, but it does.
Not to the same extent, but they do try to think for themselves, and that's important, even if there's a lot of misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Wow, we bring up those three series a lot.
Because they're so good.
They are really good.
What was the third one?
Huh?
You said those three. Supreme Magus, Lord of the Mysteries, and what?
King's Avatar.
You did not mention King's Avatar in the last.
No, we haven't mentioned it, but that's my top three.
Okay. Yeah.
If we ever come across any sort of gaming series in what are part of our topics, you can bet your ass that King's Avatar is gonna be popping up.
That's what we read stuff and then compare it to what our favorites are. And we're like,
yeah,
this
we
is why
do.
This is so much better. So in that comparison, Oracle Pass does give the main character development. He starts out as a lazy ass, whatever, and he like has to force himself to and scare himself to get heavy working. But then as soon as that he gets to the other world and like the switch happens in his brain, he's like, boom, now I'm this, and it has not developed from there.
I think it was after, it was like right before he went into the first Oracle when he realized, hey, these other aliens, they're strong, but they're not as strong as me when I have these things or these abilities
No,
or this training.
it
Like after his
it was
whole
him
human
when
Earth
he
training, and then he trained in the forced ordeal. Like everything snapped after that first, like with
no.
somewhere in
So
that first ordeal.
logistically, there's a reason for it in the book, and it is um, he when he absorbed the digester's essence without processing it first, it
Yeah,
slightly altered him and like gave him a calm mental state and focused him, and then he was just that
and
from
an
then on.
aggressive one.
A little bit aggressive, but not really. And then his bloodline like further enhanced those properties of challenge and calm in the face of everything. And he's not coming back, I don't think. Like he developed as a character a tiny bit in the first like 50 chapters, and now
You
he's
should swap the overlay, by the way. I don't know if you
oh
did
gosh, you're
earlier.
right. I've just left it here for so long. And now
It's okay. We
he's
can swap it back to that thing whenever.
he's oh yeah, but we don't have us bopping around. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't have us bobbing around.
Yeah, but legendary moonlight sculptor is how I'm feeling. This main character is uh this main character. Well, really more like Super Gene, but still
It is more like Super Gene.
like
But you're right.
it's the
The main
same thing
character
about I
snaps,
don't think they're
and you
really
just
going to
kind of.
develop much more. But actually his freaking development is very similar to the characters in Super Gene. I was gonna say
Yeah.
he's more like Super Gene's character in mentality wise. But
Yes,
that was
mentality
also
wise.
the main character was like kind of not great and just living on the edge of like almost starving. And he got one lucky break and then became sort of powerful and then was just like, now I have a new mindset and I'm off. And he
He's
hasn't
just like,
changed
I've
for 2,000
realized the
chapters.
truth of this world. I
Hasn't
must
changed for
fight, and then
2,000
everything just
chapters.
dies in front of him now. Are you caught up with Supreme Magus, by the way?
I am not. No, I think I'm about
Shit, no, you're
100
not. You're not
chapters behind
where
now.
I am because I actually did buy the subscription for that.
I know. I think I'm like still 100 chapters behind because I stopped reading when I paused like a couple months ago.
Okay, let me know whenever you continue reading Supreme Magus because I really want to bring up some more recent topics that have been going on. It is so good right now. It is so phenomenally good. Everything that I've been
Okay,
waiting
I
for is
am
coming into fruition soon.
I am actually 200 chapters behind. It's Supreme Magus. Damn, I need to catch up. 800 out of 1,000. Okay. Any last thoughts on this talk before we cut it out and go play? So you can shower and go play Overwatch.
I think we should decide whether or not Oracle Pass is something that we would recommend reading at the moment. All things considered, I would recommend this as a series to read. I wouldn't say it's a top 10 series, but I think that the story and the characters and the intricacies of the world are developed well enough. There's a lot to learn and a lot of entertainment value gained from reading the series.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for a series that has kind of a sci-fi apocalyptic world end, I think this is a very, very fun series to read.
I'd agree. It's like a little bit like Lord of the Mysteries in that way, where just like the world and the development and like the side characters are all interesting enough that honestly I could just read it for them. And like the power system and whatnot is all quite interesting. And I would read it just for that. That's why I did read it. And then you slowly realize the main character is the main character, but you know, it's fine. That's really honestly that's the only drawback I think of this is the main character doesn't look like he's ever gonna have character development.
Yeah, I think he's basically stopped here. Like they're gonna say he's gonna forcibly realize something later down the road, but it's not gonna change how he acts at all with the people around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, that's what I'm expecting to happen. Oh, there was one other character that I want to talk about. I wanted to bring up Will.
Will. Oh yeah, Will's a good character.
Will's an interesting character. I don't know, but my current state of feeling is something is gonna happen, and Will is going to betray Jake for some reason.
Yeah, that could happen.
I
Also very
personally
much
have
not
this
happening.
random feeling that Jake will be betrayed specifically by Will. Because Will's been next to him this whole time, planning, scheming, getting everything ready for Jake. He's literally handing it to him on a silver platter. And at one point, at one point, Will figure out that there's something else that he can do, or something else that he needs to do or wants to do, and it's gonna have to sacrifice Jake for some reason. And no matter how I put it, Jake has to make the decision between saving him or losing some sort of grand prize in one of the ordeals. It's probably going to be during the fifth ordeal. Like, I'm expecting Jake to be betrayed sometime in the fifth ordeal again.
I can see that happening. I haven't saw any super like flags for it yet, but that's definitely a route it
I'm
could take.
worried. There's no direct flags from the author. That's what I'm worried about. But that's the last topic that I wanted to bring up. But with this discussion and with this much character depth, like I definitely would agree with you. This is definitely the worthwhile
In
read.
general, worth the read. The lack of main character development may bug you, but honestly, if you're a light novel reader, it shouldn't, because 98% of light novels don't have a lot of character development after the first 10 chapters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just interesting seeing how all the characters try to live and progress in the impending doom of the universe.
Yep, 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 yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That about wraps it up for me. I've got nothing else to add.
We've been sidetracked in more ways than one.
Indeed.
Kind of like, you want to make that our outro?
we've been sidetracked.
In more ways than one.